Welcome everyone. So today we are going to discuss 7th standard science chapter 10. Chapter name is disaster management. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about disaster. So what is disaster? You can see in the picture there are so many news about the disasters that happened in our surrounding, like tsunami, flood, collapse of building that happens due to earthquake or due to man-made disaster like building, poor construction, or forest fires. So these flood, drought, these are all examples of disaster. Disaster means that affect the human beings and nature also. So tsunami and earthquake, these all caused large number of loss of the human life, and also it caused many loss to the nature. So in this chapter we are going to discuss how we will manage or cope up with this disaster. That is how we will protect when we are in a tsunami, flood or earthquake. So that is we are going to discuss in this chapter, disaster management. So here is a question: is it possible to prevent loss of life caused by lightning? So lightning, you have seen lightning during heavy rainfall. So the loss of life may happen during lightning. So how we will prevent the loss of life during lightning? So there are several measures which we can follow when we are in a thunderstorm or in a heavy rainfall, with which we can prevent ourselves from lightning. The next question is, what should be done to prevent the bunds on a farm from getting washed away in a rainy season? So we have seen in farms there are many bunds that covers water. So in rainy season these bunds get broken and the water gets washed away and land gets washed away in rainy season. So what we can do to prevent that? We can grow small grass trees on that bunds, so that it will have more strength to withstand the rainy season. Next is, why do we experience water scarcity? So you all have seen in summer season we experience a lot of water scarcity for our daily need, and to drinking water is also not available in the summer season. So what is the reason for that water scarcity? Deforestation, water pollution, and groundwater level decreasing. So these are all the reasons of water scarcity in the summer season. There are mainly two types of disasters: man-made disasters and natural disasters. So natural disasters occurs from the nature, like tsunami and earthquake. These are all natural disasters. That means we humans are not the cause of happening of that disaster. And man-made disaster is opposite of that. Man-made disasters are created by man. The deeds of man, human beings, is the reason of such disasters. Example: poor construction of building, water pollution, air pollution. These are all examples of man-made disaster. We can prevent certain types of disasters, while it is necessary to take precaution in case of some other disasters. Man-made disasters like air pollution, drought, that means water scarcity, that all can be prevented because they are man-made, so we can prevent it. And natural disasters we cannot prevent it, but we can protect ourselves by taking certain precaution, means certain measures to protect ourselves from earthquake, tsunami and flood. Natural and man-made disasters are related to each other. Natural disasters such as famine, lightning strikes, cold burst, storms, etc. occur due to the changes in the weather. So the natural disasters like lightning strikes, storms, these all occur due to changes in the weather. So there is a possibility of damage to property in such natural calamity. So property means buildings, fields, farms, lands, all this can be destroyed in a natural calamity, means disaster. who is to be held responsible for that? So we ourselves, human being, man is responsible for the calamity. What can we do to deal with the losses? So how we will prevent this all natural calamity? That we will discuss in disaster management. Famine. So next we are going to discuss about famine. What is famine? It is a condition that arises due to long-term and severe scarcity of food grains and water is called famine. So famines are very severe because humans being, we in order to protect our life we need water, food and air. So these are the basic needs of a human being. So if we don't have enough food and water, our life will be in danger. That means it will lead to death of the human being. Although the main cause of famine is a natural phenomena, yet a famine condition is created by some human activity. That means both man-made and natural phenomena or natural activities led to famine. That means a scarcity of food and water. So we are going to see the causes of famine. So the natural causes of famine are drought, means the water scarcity or no groundwater, heavy rain and flood. So this will lead to damage of crops, food crops and food grains. Crops getting washed away and damaged in heavy rain, that means in flood. Environmental changes, that is changes in the weather required to grow such food grains and crops, such as temperature change, storms, cold waves, fog, damage of crops by animals like mice and rats. So these all are the reason of environmental changes and the attack by animals. This all led to the damage of the crops. Attack of pests, locusts and disease of crops. Locusts means some kind of insects that attack with like a group or gang. These insects attack the food grain and crops. Diseases of crops, natural calamity like earthquake, etc. are the causes of famine. These are the natural causes of famine. Next we are going to see the man-made causes of famine like war, internal unrest, absence of transport routes, uncontrolled population. So a growing number of population means vast number of people. There will not be enough food grains to feed this much uncontrolled population, and war may lead to the scarcity of food and water. And internal unrest means in our country also there may be sometimes scarcity of water due to some issues. Absence of transport routes means that food grains need to be transported to different part of the country. So that also will affect the they are saying that there are records of loss of life caused by severe famine in various parts of the world. So because of scarcity of food and water, there is loss of life in different part of the world. Asia has turned out to be the most famine affected continent in the world. So the Asia is the most famine affected continent in the world. Majority of famine occurred in drought prone and flood affected region like Africa can see and flood affected regions. These flood affected and drought prone areas mainly affect due to this scarcity of food and water. Among the most dreadful famines that have occurred in the world are the famines that affected India and China. So India and China, the famines which occurred in India and China are the most dreadful famines, means most danger famines, means that may have led to the loss of human lives. So who are responsible for this scarcity of water and food? Water shortage is increasing as the balance between rainfall and population is disturbed. So the balance between rainfall means there is no enough water for this increasing population. So that leads to shortage of water. And though there has been a very high rise in the production of food grains as a result of Green Revolution. Green Revolution led to the production of vast quantity of food grains for the entire population of the country, but the balance of the environment has been lost due to this chemical fertilizer. So in green revolution they used chemical fertilizers and pesticides, and we decides to protect the crops from attack of the pests and weeds. Also used chemical fertilizers for the growth of the crops in green revolution. So but these all affected the quality of the food. And third reason is unlimited lifting of water. So we for the vast population we need a lot of water to meet the needs of the human beings, for construction, for drinking, for daily use, everything we need water. So this unlimited lifting of water from groundwater has led to water scarcity. Erosion of land happens when there is severe flood. Misuse of water. So misuse of water means water is used polluted, like in river water is polluted, and for chemicals and factories also take vast amount of water. So this there happens a misuse of water. So this led to scarcity of water. What can we do to ease the severity of famine? So means what can we do to prevent or face the famine? Planned usage of water and reuse of water. So we have to plan and manage the usage of water in our families, then in our society. Yes, the whole population should be aware of planning of the usage of water, and we should maximum reuse of clean water. Proper planning of water conservation means we have to conserve our water, means rainwater, and harvesting at the local level means rainwater need to be harvested, means need to be collected and preserved for our future use. Large scale plantation of trees and prevention of deforestation. Deforestation means we clear large amount of forest region for man-made use, for building, construction, etc. So that need to be prevented. We need to prevent the forest, and also large scale plantation of trees, that also need to be done. Last one is making appropriate changes in plans, taking into account the weather forecast. So we need to take account of weather forecast, means when we get any weather reports, we should take that seriously, means we should plan to grow crops according to the weather only, and making appropriate changes in our plans. So the famine are a not a new phenomena. The scarcity of food and water had happened in the times of our Rajas also, that means in historic times. So the problem of drinking water, food and fodder for animals, means food for the animals, date back to historic times, means that happened in our old times, ancient times also. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and Chhatrapati Sahu Maharaj implemented many schemes to overcome the famines of their times, and their water supply and water storage schemes are ideal even in today's circumstances. So that need to be noted, means the Rajas have implemented many schemes like water supply, water storage schemes, ideal in even today's circumstances, and we can make schemes like this to face the future crisis and disasters, which will be of use not only in our life in the future, but also for the society at large. Malik Ambar implemented a canal scheme. So canal scheme implemented by Malik Ambar for drinking water in Aurangabad is very famous. It exists even today. So Malik Ambar implemented a canal scheme for drinking water in Aurangabad. So next we are going to discuss about cloud burst. So sometimes the water coming down from rain clouds does not reach the land in form of rain. So the water coming from clouds does not reach the land in the form of rain, but instead what happens? Due to very high temperature near the land, it vaporizes and goes back into the same cloud. So rainwater does not reach the ground due to high temperature. So it vaporizes and means it gets into the gaseous form and goes back into the same cloud. So that as a result of that, the amount of vapor in those clouds becomes very high. So that cloud contain large amount of vapors, because the rainwater is not reaching the ground due to temperature. So due to the rapid condensation, it rains suddenly over a specific and small region at a rate of 100 millimeter per hour or more. So the cold burst is mainly the happening of sudden rainfall, sudden and heavy rainfall over a specific small region at a rate of 100 mm per hour. So this is known as cold burst. So here are some examples of the cold burst happened in Leh Ladakh in 6th August 2010. The cold burst that occurred in Mumbai in 26th August 2005 was extraordinary and unforgettable. On that day, it rained about 950 mm, that is 37 inches in 8 to 10 hours. So it was a continuous heavy rainfall in the entire city of Mumbai, was waterlogged and flooded. Next we are going to discuss about flood. So you all have known or seen or faced the flood because flood happens frequently in all the rainy season in Mumbai. So we have already learned about the flood and the effect of floods, collect information. So at various places in Maharashtra, few years there happened so many of floods. Government of India established the National Flood Commission in 1976. Commission has made special effort towards the control of floods. So Government of India established a association or organization for flood control, National Flood Commission in 1976. So it has made special efforts to control of flood. A plan regarding flood control is kept ready from national level to village level. So to prevent and control flood, a plan is made by this commission, and large scale damage of property and loss of life can be avoided because of this plan. So by following this plan of the this National Flood Commission, we can prevent large scale damage of property and loss of life. So here are some protective measures in view of flood. Construction of small dams in mountainous region. So construction of small dams in mountain regions, we should construct only small dams. Construction of percolation tanks means for collecting the rainwater, we should construct the percolation tanks. Making river beds flat. River beds means the underground of the river should be made flat. Cultivation of new forest means we should grow more forest. Connecting the rivers. So next we are going to discuss about lightning. So what is lightning? The generation of electric charge and lightning strikes in lesson on static electricity. In this lesson we shall learn something more about lightning and the measures for protection from it.